In this investigation, we will hear many important names other than FTX, Tether, Bahamas Papers, Democratic Party of US, and many more. The FTX collapse was big. Probably it was just the tip of the crypto iceberg. Think that Sam Bankman-Fried was the second biggest supporter of the Democratic Party after George Soros. As more and more of the tentacles from Alameda Research, FTX, and Sam Bankman-Fried are exposed within the financial system, regulators continue to be asked difficult questions in a wake of devastation. Let's try to make some order now. Please follow me carefully. This is mind-blowing and naughty. Bahamian lawyers say FTX executives Sam Bankman-Fried and Ryan Salami spent $256.3 million to buy and maintain 35 different properties across New Providence in the Bahamas. Now, local regulators are trying to claw back the property from FTX U.S. bankruptcy protection proceedings, telling a Delaware federal judge that allowing the properties to be administered in U.S. courts would be both administratively ineffective and illegal under Bahamas law. Why did the government not seize all of his assets? Because the company that all we know crashed, called FTX Digital Markets, didn't have anything. All the properties in the Bahamas are under the name of another company called FTX Property Limited. And that's not all. On October 2nd, 2022, just 2 weeks before the FTX started crashing, another company called Alameda Property Holdings was created. Now it looks like he was trying to move stuff and hide stuff. Some money transfers started appearing. Ryan Salami, co-chief executive officer of FTX Digital Markets, more than 8 million USD property. Same Sam's parents, Barbara and Joe, about 16.5 million US dollars. So at this point it looks like SBF made a deal with the local government. He helped 1,500 Bahamian investors remove $100 million from their accounts, while other customers around the world were locked out of exchange, according to the company's new CEO John Ray. Now let's make one step back to try and understand where the beginning of the decline started. In bankruptcy filings, crypto exchange FTX revealed a curious connection to the stablecoin Tether through a small bank in rural Washington. Farmington State Bank is in fact the 26th smaller bank in the US out of over 4,700. It employed just 3 people. The bank was first formed in 1929 in a sleepy town named Farmington, hugging the Idaho border. It's home to just over 100 residents and features 0 restaurants, hotels, or pharmacies. It doesn't even appear to have an ATM. On March 1st, 2022, Farmington State Bank trademarked the name Moonstone Bank. Shortly after the purchase, the bank pivoted the deal with cryptocurrency and international payments. But due to the Farmington State Bank's backwards traditions of not taking on risky loans and this is truly mind-blowing, even being part of the Federal Reserve System, it couldn't move money anytime after the purchase. This is when it sought Federal Reserve approval and got it. On March 7, Moonstone accepted an investment from Alameda Research for $11.5 million. The investment for 10% ownership valued the bank at $115 million US dollars, a large sum compared to the $10 million in customer deposits at the time, and interesting given that customer deposits sharply increased afterward. Jan Chalopin, who used an entity called FBH to purchase Moonstone, is also chairman of Deltec Bank and Trust, a Bahamian bank heavily named throughout the Bahamas Papers and known to be the bank of choice for both FTX and the controversial stablecoin issuer Tether. Deltec Group also owns Delchain, a top minter of Tether with a very long-term collaboration since 2018. Delchain has many important sponsors such as Tether, Chain Analysis, Bitfinex, Kraken, and more. FTX and Alameda had at least 17 bank accounts with Deltec. In April 2022, many important members of FTX attended the Crypto Bahamas conference, with many important guests such as Tony Blair, Bill Clinton, members of Coinbase, Paxos, Circle, Lockheed Martin, Voyager, Solana, and last but not least, Bruno Macchiali, CEO of Deltec, which was sued just a month before the conference for $20 million after Dreamer crypto token crashed 93% just 90 days. He left in July 2022, maybe to protect himself from potential repercussions caused by the crash of Terra Luna and UST at the beginning of May 2022. And now is where things get really complicated. No one is able to ascertain what the $11.5 million investment from Alameda Research was for. No one can explain why a small rural bank in southeastern Washington state would be used to move millions of dollars by Alameda. And no one can fully explain the connections between Farmington, Deltec, FTX Alameda, and Tether. Not to mention, it remains unclear how a Bahamas-based company like FTX, with ongoing investigation by top financial watchdogs, was able to purchase a stake in a federally approved bank. The crypto lender BlockFi is blaming its recent bankruptcy and now infamous Bahamas-based exchange FTX, citing an unpaid and uncollateralized debt of $275 million. This amount is very similar to the $256.3 million to buy and maintain 35 different properties across New Providence that was mentioned earlier in this video. However, despite the money owed from the Sam Bankman-Fried imploding empire, BlockFi also lists more than $1 billion in additional uncollateralized debt to other borrowers and massive amounts supposedly collateralized debts. Among this collateralized debt is $54 million for troubled Bitcoin mining titan Core Scientific. In its latest Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, filing, Core claims that because it's not paying its loans, the company currently holds only 24 Bitcoin and around 26.6 million in cash, its creditors can assume their guarantees and collateral.
A few moments later.
According to a leaked document, FTX currently owes around $8.5 billion in crypto to its client, but has just $1 billion in crypto and liquid cash or equivalents. Other FTX assets that may have some value include its Robinhood shares valued $472 million and some investments which are deemed illiquid, notably $43 million worth of Twitter shares.